Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. It's been a while since I did a What's Spinning. No new vinyl here, just stuff from the collection I've been pulling out, listening to for no real rhyme or reason behind any of it for the most part. Actually, there's a couple in here that there is, but I guess we'll get there when we get there. What kind of started this was I got an offer on Discogs. Somebody saw that I had a copy of the Hellblade vinyl pressing from Saint, and sent me an email offering me $100 for it. And my initial thought was, I'm not going to sell that. And then I thought about it, and it's been so long since I listened to it, I couldn't remember if it was an album I really liked, because there are a couple Saint albums that I'm just not a big fan of. I just forgot how good this was. I pulled this out and ended up spinning it a couple times. And this is a fantastic album. I don't actually, I know you can't get it anymore. They were real limited. This was part of the Rock's Underground series, which ended, man, it's probably been a good 3 or 4 years since Rock stopped doing this series. But each of them, I believe they were all limited to 150. But this is number 115 of 150. I have the other reason I decided to hold off and not sell it was because I have the entire series too. So well, it's crazy what some of those are going for. There's actually, I don't know, is it the Sella? There's one that's going for like hundreds of dollars. So that was a really good series, though. I wasn't a huge fan of the J card thing. In hindsight, I'm fine with it. It's not that big a deal. Didn't have to worry about seam splits with the J cards. That was one nice thing. I don't know if you guys saw. I mentioned it. Oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 videos ago. I appeared on the Metal Roundtable with Scott Waters, Rob Caldwell, and Carcass John. And last week, I believe I appeared again for another episode going over Japanese pressings. I didn't show this on either of them, but I had showed a bunch of the other Judas Priest, so I went ahead and pulled this out and just gave it a couple spins because it's still one of the best metal albums of the 80s, but Screaming for Vengeance. Just a must-have for any Metalheads collection. So I've been on a big Opeth kick, and I'll talk about in a later video the reason for it. One of my big grails was an Opeth album that I end up recently getting, but this one is My Arms, Your Hearse. Went ahead and pulled this one out. Opeth, if you haven't checked them out, if you're into progressive rock or progressive metal, highly recommend checking these guys out. They're so good. These represses, this one's from a few years ago. Oh no, this is the one from last year. So this is the 2021 repress. But they've been repressing these for the last, I guess, for about 10 years now. They've been repressing the Opeth albums. Some of them have only gotten one repress, some have gotten 2 or 3, but they all sound fantastic. And they're just an amazing progressive metal band. Progressive death sometimes just straight progressive metal. This one I pulled out because I thought I got a replacement for it. Not a replacement. I thought it's not even really an upgrade. So this is the white vinyl version of this album. I thought that I bought the black vinyl version. It turned out that the black vinyl version was a different album. I thought that it was England, basically. So I thought that, was it England? Now I'm drawing a blank. Maybe it wasn't. It was one of the other albums from this same period, though. And when I bought it, I was thinking I already had a copy of that album, and it wasn't. It was this album that I had a copy of. So I was super stoked to find that I had filled in one of the albums that I really needed for my Motorhead collection. But still, I had pulled this out and to compare the pressings, because I thought I got 2 of the same album and was going to keep the best pressing and sell the other one. So I pulled this one out. I love this album. I love this era of Motorhead. I actually listened to the 90s and early 2000s Motorhead the last few years more than I listened to the early stuff. Just something about the 90s stuff where he was doing a little more singing. And I really liked his writing in the '90s. It wasn't as raw as his early stuff, which I love too, but he just got his writing matured and his sound matured, and I really liked this era. I know a lot of people don't. To each his own. Next up, I don't know if I've shown this one before. I've had it since it came out. I when I first listened to it, I thought it was just okay. And the more I've listened to it, the more I pull it out. I really, really dig this album. This is Rock Believer from Scorpions. I don't remember where I ordered this one. Is it Talk Live? From the Talk Live website. So it came with a signed photo from the band, which is really, really cool. Man, the more I listen to this, the more I like it, which is I wouldn't have even bought this had I not run across the deal. It was like $5 extra to get the signed photo with it. And I wouldn't have even bought it if it wasn't for that photo. Just because I haven't liked pretty much anything that the Scorpions have put out since about 87. There's been songs I have liked, but not full albums. And I've got a bunch of them. It's not like I just stopped listening to them. So I'm not familiar with those albums. I've got a lot of them on CD. I don't listen to them. I listen to mostly the stuff from the 70s and the stuff from the early 80s. However, man, I have been playing the heck out of this. I didn't like the song Rock Believer at first. It just started growing on me, and I really dig it now. And the whole B-side is fantastic. Highly recommend checking this one out. A lot of people are saying it's the best album since '89. That's probably fair. I would say it's their best album since probably '87, but still, fantastic album. Really enjoy this one. Man, Klaus sounds amazing. It's amazing how good he still sounds. This was a kind of an upgrade. I mean, I already had this pressing is from the same stampers as the other pressing I have, but one of the websites did Overnight Sensation from Motorhead on this green vinyl. I didn't buy it for that. I bought it because it came with this limited edition photo, and then I got it, and I don't really like it. It's not something that I'll put up, but it came with this limited numbered photo, and it was normal price. I didn't pay extra for it, so and I think I sold my other copy of this is the record show, the black vinyl copy, for about what I paid for this, so it wasn't a big deal, but just an upgrade. Spun that a couple times. This one, I just ran across a copy of Cherry Pie from Warrant and spun it a couple times, and that made me pull this one out and spin this one a couple times. I do like the Cherry Pie album better than this one. I even like the Cherry Pie song. A lot of people say they like the whole album, but the song Cherry Pie, I like that song too. But man, this album is fantastic as well. I'd love to get Dog Eat Dog on vinyl, but I've never seen it before, other than the bootlegs. And that's not one that's so rare that I don't think I'll ever find it. So I'm not going to buy the bootleg for that one. But Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich. Gave this one a couple spins. A little gold stamp promo action on that one. Next up, this one is, I believe it's Italian pressing. Let's see. Yeah, Italy. So I've got a cup. This is from a reissue company called Orizzonte. And they're all really good pressings. I actually have their debut, and I have this one, and I believe I have their third album from this same repress company. And they all sound really good, which is why I buy them, and you can find them for relatively cheap. But they've all got this stupid little triangle on it that drives me. It's like a little cloud in the background. And it's this series. I can't remember what they call it, but it's a whole series. It's like 20 albums that were part of that had this little cloud thing. If you see them, though, they're represses of the UK pressing of these albums. So if you're familiar with the debut, the UK and the US pressing are different. And then obviously this one has the UK cover on it and not the US cover of Salisbury. But the first three, actually the first four Uriah Heeps are by far my favorites. They're the ones I listen to the most. I mean, I like all their stuff, but yeah, I mean the first four is really where it's at for me. Fantastic album though. Next up, Metal Church. No real rhyme or reason why I pulled this one out. When I was putting stuff together for that last record show, getting ready for it, I ended up spinning this album and the next one, Metal Church, the Dark. Nice OG pressing of that one. And then I also listened to Malaa Rage, Kill to Survive. They're a band that's a favorite of mine. They've still got a couple more albums that I want to find. There's one that I haven't been able to run across a copy of that was done by Night of the Vinyl Dead. And then they've got one or two that haven't been pressed to vinyl. I'd really like to see those get pressed to vinyl. But if you haven't checked out that Malaa Rage, I've heard it said both ways. Just fantastic thrash band. Some of their albums are more straight up metal. Some of them are thrash. There's not a bad album in there though. They're all fantastic. Another one. This is a really, really good album. I haven't seen anybody talk about this. I showed it when I first got it. Spun it a couple times. You can't really see it, but right behind my guitar right there is a signed insert that came with this. But this is, I believe this is her last album, but this is Time Capsule from Lita Ford. Really fantastic. She's another one. She just doesn't have a bad album. I'd love to see her live. It seems like every time she comes through this area, something's going on and I can't go and see her. But I've heard she does a really killer show. But this is a great album and definitely worth picking up if you run across a copy of it. Next up, just an all-time classic. This is one that I picked up in Phoenix last time I was there. I showed it in that video. But I love the pre-Keeper of the Seven Keys Halloween when they were more of a thrash band. I love everything they've released. I mean, let's be honest. But this is one I was really happy to get a copy of. This is is this German? I can't remember where this pressing was from. I'm pretty sure this is a German pressing though. But Halloween. Is that one Judas? Yeah, Judas. Next up, it's kind of funny. So I had already pulled this out about a week before Lazarus did his video talking about the band's second album, which I now need to find a copy of. But I had pulled this out for, I don't remember why. Oh, I remember. I got a hold of a promo photo. This already had the promo kit in it, but the promo photo was missing. And I ran across a copy of the promo photo for cheap, like $4 or $5. So I grabbed it to complete the set here. And ended up pulling this out and giving it a couple of spins. Fantastic album. I really love this album. I've never heard their second one. Lazarus did a great video talking about it, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. But just really cool early 80s metal. I think this was 80. This is later than I thought. This is 85. I thought this was 83. But still really good. Next up, man, this is one of those bands that I've never understood why they weren't bigger. Both of their albums are fantastic. I love both of them. And the cool thing about these is you can still find them for under $20. But this is A Life of Crime from Zoatrope. Just killer thrash. If you run across either of their albums, highly recommend grabbing them if you're into thrash at all. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of their releases. Next up, just got in the Queensryche mood. I was going to pull out the EP, but decided to go with Rage for Order. And was this one a promo copy too? Yeah. So apparently, I didn't know this. I was doing something in Discogs, and apparently this is a harder to find version. I didn't know that there were different versions, but it's got the blue background with the gold Queensryche, and I guess that was only the first run. Like I said, this one's a promo copy, so, but I was going through, usually when I pull these out, I look at them again and just check Discogs to make sure I have it in there, and to basically double check the condition that I have it right. And I was shocked what these are going for, the first pressing of it anyway. Next up, just one of my all-time favorite bands. I picked up this Canadian pressing a while back. I already had a US pressing. This isn't a band that I usually get like 2 or 3 copies of, but it was like $20, so I went ahead and grabbed it, and it sounds great. But this is the attic pressing of Rock City from Riot. 80s metal from the 70s. It still blows me away when I hear Rock City and Narita, and it's from the 70s. Very, very heavy, very, very 80s metal for the time frame. Guy Speranza was fantastic. Just a killer album. Another band, you can't go wrong with any of their albums. And this one is one of those funny albums that one time I'll listen to it, it does nothing for me. The next time I'll listen to it and I love it. It's got one of the best worst album covers of all time. I don't know why when they do the worst album covers ever, this one never shows up. But this is just a killer new wave of British heavy metal band. Battle Axe, Burn This Town. And man, just look at that killer cover. But that's it. Just like I said, just some stuff that I've been spinning that was that I pulled from the collection. Hope everybody's doing good. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon, VC. Later.